My name is Dave Tran, and this is Lex TV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student. We have Frank Ju with Coaction Software calling from Carlsbad, California. Frank, welcome to Lex TV.
Hello, thank you.
Yeah, so let's get straight to it. So how did you get started working with Coaction Software?
Well, that's a long story. I'm a chiropractic miracle story myself. Medically mismanaged for over 10 years of my life. I was probably under 30,000 Advil, just painful over and over and over. And I was not getting any solution. And I was working in a hardware company back then, and I ended up working for a chiropractic software company. And naturally, obviously, I ended up seeing a lot of chiropractors, and I had some major scoliosis and other health condition, which without surgery, that definitely got better with it. And that's been about 10 years ago. And just by that experience alone and visiting a lot of the chiropractors, I was noticing that there was definitely a lack of technology and a good efficiency within the chiropractic clinic. So that's how we got involved, and we tried to develop a very compliant, efficient software that every chiropractor can use to make their clinic as efficient as possible. And the ultimate goal that I started this company with, my partner and a lot of other chiropractors that helped out, we had an ultimate goal of also validating the chiropractic market. Chiropractic market, as you know, is very subjective. Everybody know that it works miracle and yields great result, but there is not a concrete data to support how wonderful chiropractic is. So we've been working back in the day with LifeWest College. Now we work with Life University. And we are participating in the largest practice-based research. And using the technology, we wanted to make sure that the doctors are not spending any extra time, or the patient for that matter. And they're just going through their daily flow, but we could actually grab and aggregate the data on our server, and we can donate the data to the participating researching entities such as Life University. And we'll have a pathologist that's going to be on board. But just as of March of this year, we donated over 220,000 active patient file for research, which has been the largest set of active patient file. The largest one that ever collected back in the days was about 15,000. So this is 220,000 without the doctors needing to do any extra work whatsoever. And we're compiling just like the condition and demographic for now, but we're really trying to get to that. The end goal is outcome assessment.
Yeah, that's huge. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for putting so much hard work towards that. I recently just met you at a recent chiropractic event in the Northeast called the Berkshires. And I know that you travel a lot, and you meet a lot of chiropractors at these types of events. So what's the number one question that people generally always want to ask you?
Well, a lot of people see there are a lot of other software out in the industry, so they always want to know, how will your product help me?
Yeah.
And our goal is, one, we want to get you the top efficiency, but while being compliant as possible. So we're providing you the digital platform that you could run your clinic as efficiently as possible. But the key is, all the chiropractors are licensed professionals. That means you got to follow a lot of the HIPAA guidelines and also Medicare guideline, whether you do insurance or not. So we have a lot of those compliance embedded in the program. And also we have the protection of all your data. We encrypt it, and we back it up multiple times a day. And not only we encrypt all your data, but we encrypt your attachments as well, which is critical because a lot of the chiropractors will have the x-rays and other IDs attached to their software, and they don't even know if that is being encrypted and stored in a safe area. And so starting with that platform, our tools are there to make sure that you can run your clinic, but not having to think too much about it. The key difference with the software, there's a lot of softwares out there, but I'm sure some are very inexpensive but doesn't do much. Some are very expensive and still doesn't do much. And you gotta pick that's the right one for you. So the number one question is, what will it do? We're saying to a very small clinic that wants to work as efficiently as possible, they can literally run the whole clinic with zero staff, and the system will do patient self-check-in. We will do patient appointment reminder. If the patient is late, it's going to send out a late appointment text automatically.
Yeah.
The note taking is super simple. It takes about 10 seconds for a very compliant day-to-day note, few minutes for very compliant, initial eval and re-eval. And the billing, whether you do cash or insurance, is very compliant. The itemized bill goes out, or the super bill, HICFAS generated automatically, and the backup, all the reports, so you could run your clinic as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
All the way up, we have clinics that are seeing 200, 300 patients a day. And so we're very scalable, but that's the key thing that we deliver, is that we can give you the efficiency and the speed, but while being compliant as possible.
Yeah, that's great. It literally is kind of the backbone of the entire practice, and then, with all these different tools and things that allow the chiropractor just to be the doctor, and not have to worry about, running around and collecting all this data. Because, I know a lot of docs that would love to do more, submit some research, with some amazing cases that they've seen, but are just very concerned about, all the time, or don't even know where to even start. So that's great that you've been able to kind of put all that functionality within your software. Another one of the things that I find is kind of interesting now, as technology kind of grows, is a cloud technology. And it almost sometimes seems kind of like this fairy tale magic where, where, some people would, really embrace it. Some people kind of fear it, So can you kind of explain how cloud EHR works?
Absolutely. So our software, we can actually do both localized server platform and also cloud platform as well. It depends on what your needs are.
Yeah.
Number one thing about cloud is kind of like that term cloud is up in the air.
Yeah.
So back in the days, or the local server solution means that you got to actually have a server that hosts and holds all your patient data file in that one particular server. Mm-hmm. Now, cloud basically means that it's taking the server outside of your clinic, connected via internet, over into the cloud platform. Most popular one being Amazon Cloud Services. There are a lot of cloud services out there. Microsoft has it. But basically, they are the one that's having your server onto their server farm. Mm-hmm. Now, what does that mean? Well, servers do break down. I'm sure everybody owns laptops, PC, any type of technology device. As the years progresses, it could be 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. However, eventually, your server will crash, or you will have to replace the server. There is a cost involved to that. So instead of having to buy a very expensive, whether it's a couple of $100 or a couple of $1,000 worth of server every X amount of years, you're actually leasing the server to those professional companies, and they're maintaining it for you. So two things that you get the very powerful server for very low price, and two, they're the one who's maintaining it. If the server ever goes down, the key difference is the recovery time. Instead of, if you had a localized server, it's going to take you a day or two, maybe even 3, to get your server back up and running. However, if it's up on the Amazon, Microsoft, or any other platform, they could literally grab your backup data file and replace the server within a matter of minutes. So it's that continuity and scalability that you get. And the beauty of also the cloud EHR is the connectivity. So instead of you needing to run your software within your clinic, you can run it on a remote platform as well from your house or anywhere else. But the key difference is with cloud services, you can literally have your software operating out of your smartphone, whether you're at a screening or you're at you're on your vacation. You can still have an access to the program wherever you have internet access.
Yeah, that's huge. It always just kind of drives me crazy whenever I hear about people either messing up their phone or jacking up their iPhone or something like that, and then they've never sent all their contacts to the cloud, and then then they post this really long Facebook, crying. It's like, oh my gosh, I lost all my contacts, and then in my mind I'm thinking to myself, there's a simple solution to this where you can just give it away to somebody else and have Apple or Microsoft or Google just keep all the information that's probably not. I mean, it probably is as valuable as patient information, since there's laws protecting that. But but that's how I kind of try to wrap my head around it as well. Just like I was mentioning earlier, like you travel a lot and you speak to a lot of chiropractors, and now that kind of developing some personal relationships, and my majority of my audience is chiropractic students. What would you recommend as your greatest advice to a chiropractic student?
Wow, I mean, I'm sure I have a whole bunch. Working with over 3,000 different chiropractors, and we have over 1,000 users, and we see a lot of practice doing well, and not so well, obviously.
Sure.
But there is obviously some differences to the clinics that are doing very, very well. Mm-hmm. And we hear over and over and again, and I hear from the doctors that are well seasoned, 10, 20 years into their practice, or it's the students that just recently graduated. And they all say the same thing. It's like, wow, we went to the chiropractic college, but I was not taught this, and I was not taught that. And that's a common thing where whichever seminar that you go. And my greatest advice, and especially for those doctors that does well, is they're the one that's doing the homework. It's your career. It is your license on the line. You are the one who has to go out of the way, seek out which doctors are doing well, which groups are doing well. And you got to do your homework. You cannot just sit there and say, well, because the school didn't teach me, it's not their responsibility. Their responsibility, in my opinion, is to teach you the technique and the know-how. But the business side of it, you really have to get out of your comfort zone and reach out. Like Dr. Dave, or future Dr. Dave Tran is doing. Going to all those places is fabulous. I mean, meeting people and understanding why are those chiropractors successful. And I think, you say, what is the greatest advice? One, you got to meet the ones that are successful.
Yeah.
Depending on your technique, depending on your personality, there might be somebody that's better suited for you. However, you will not know that until you actually go out there. Because what they don't teach you in school, they actually learned it with years and years and years of probably a lot of mistakes, a lot of hardship, but they got to know it. And if, looking at over 1,000 users, what will be the main difference between a great, successful chiropractic clinic versus not is a lot of the clinics that are doing fantastic are the ones that are getting as objective as possible regarding the patient care. Because we understand chiropractic story inside and out, and we could regurgitate it without even a thought. However, for a layman coming into your clinic, it is critical that you show some type of a objective finding and something that they could hold it in their hand. Maybe you could print it out to them. You could email to them. It could be a post X-ray. It could be a paraspinal thermal imaging scan. It could be a range of motion. It could be a bilateral scale. It really doesn't matter, in my opinion. It's something that they need to take home with them. So they have it in their hand, they can review it, then they can actually show it to their friends and then start referring. And then they're sharing their chiropractic story, but it's not from the memory. In my opinion, you really need to put something in their hands. And those clinics that are doing this fabulous job of printing out those wonderful reports, a lot of graphics, and sending it to them, are the ones that are doing fabulous. And maybe one greatest advice is if you're going to be thinking about giving them some type of a report, I had those clinics putting in a free consultation type of a coupon, or at least a bunch of business card on the back of the folder. Make a very professional, presentable folder with a very objective finding, print it out, put those, whichever, free evaluation, discounted coupon might be, package it together and send it out, and it will work wonders because we see a great result of a very, very high level of referral with that type of a setup. But in my opinion, get to know a lot of the successful doctors, and two, really start thinking about, for those layman people, how can I give them something that they could take home with them that they could review and also share, not verbally, but in a more of a written or presentable format.
Frank, thank you so much for sharing your life with us today. If you want more information or want to connect with Frank directly, check out the links below. Every week I will be uploading a new interview with another leader in the chiropractic profession. If you like this video, please share it with your friends, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. My name is Dave Tran, and this was Lux TV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student. Thanks again, Frank.
Thank you very much.